Hey everybody, and welcome to Previews Reviews, the show which takes a look at comic books and other pop culture goodies coming out in the near future. I'm Kevin Hickey.
And I am Ricky Lima.
And Ricky, can you please tell the fine folks out there where this show, which was lost but now is found, is coming to them from?
Well, it's coming to them from the time-traveling capital of the world, Brampton, Ontario, Canada, where months take place in the future.
Yeah, and in this part of the universe, months actually take 60 days.
Yes.
Right?
That's
So
that's why the video last month wasn't there.
Yeah, it was 2 months ago by your substandard rules on your planet. Previews is the magazine that most comic stores use to order all of their comics out of and a lot of other awesome pop culture merchandise. And we greatly encourage you to go into your local shop, have a look through this catalog, and pre-order some items from it. Because there's literally thousands and thousands of items in here. Couldn't possibly carry them all in one store. Ricky, a lot has happened since the last time we were, graced these airwaves. Do they call it airwaves when we're speaking of a YouTube channel?
Data waves?
Data waves. We skipped over the whole month of October. In October there's a lot of great books coming out. Not the least of which is the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, the new book that focuses on Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I know you're laughing out there as I say this.
It's wicked.
But it's by the team that brought us Afterlife with Archie. And if you've read Afterlife with Archie, you know that it is not a book geared towards little kids. It's a legitimate horror book.
Yeah, the most recent Afterlife with Archie featured Sabrina in it, and it was crazy. It was crazy.
Cthulhu was in it and stuff.
It was nuts.
So this Chilling Adventures of Sabrina book is going to have a Stadium Comics exclusive cover. And the cover's by Francesco Francavilla.
Amazing.
Yeah, let's just end the show right here. It's the only book you need to worry about in October. You can go over to store.stadiumcomics.com to get a sneak peek at that cover, as well as place your pre-order for it. There's only 300 of them that are going to be in existence, so you definitely want to check that out. We've also got a whole bunch of other awesome items available up there for pre-order, some of which we're going to talk about today, and some that we would have talked about last month, but we didn't get a chance to. Also, October, Halloween Comic Fest. Go to your local shop that is supporting Halloween Comic Fest and giving away free comics, and celebrate that this October 25th.
We will be, right?
We will be.
We always host the best.
I hear there's a book launch happening at our Halloween Comic Fest.
We're trying to get Deep Sea done for that.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that. If the Kickstarter is up during this, then go to the link below.
Well, that's true, yeah.
So.
Check out the Deep Sea Kickstarter if you're interested in contributing to that. Ricky, let's get to the comics coming out in November 2014, shall we? We're going to kick it off with one from DC Comics called Gotham by Midnight, and this is issue number 1. Strange doings are afoot in Gotham City. Look out, though. Jim Corrigan is on the case in this new series by writer Ray Fox, who you may know from Constantine and Batman Eternal, and artist Ben Templesmith from 30 Days of Night and 10 Grand. Wow. Powerhouse team there.
Fancy.
Ben Templesmith, so you know this book is going to have definite supernatural horror elements.
He's going to have fire in it for sure.
Are you aware of who Jim Corrigan is, Ricky?
No.
So Jim Corrigan was a character that they introduced, well, this version of Jim Corrigan anyway, in the Gotham Central comic book. He is not a good cop. He's a bit of a corrupt cop. He ended up dying, so I'm not sure what version of Jim Corrigan we'll be seeing here. If it'll be the corrupt version that we know from pre-New 52, or if it's some sort of new version of him.
So they're not going to do like a resurrection story where he's like, oh, I'm back from the dead.
I don't know at this point. It's too early to say. Okay. The funny thing is that Jim Corrigan back in a book is not a coincidence by DC Comics.
That's right.
It turns out that he is also going to factor into the Constantine television show, which starts this fall on NBC.
And not the Gotham show? He's going to be
not the Gotham show, not that I'm aware of. Yeah.
I think that's what I thought he was going to be in when you mentioned that. Constantine show.
Yeah. But in the Constantine show, he's like a New Orleans cop, so we'll have to...
Where does this show take place? I thought it was in England.
There's just like 37 different versions of Jim Corrigan, and...
Well, they're going to have an Edge of Jim Corrigan verse where it's like...
Yeah, it's all the alternate universes of Jim Corrigan all coming together.
I read that.
Yeah, it should be Wix. Should be Wix. It should be mentioned, Ricky, that while we're talking about a book that's coming in from DC, in the month of November. November, DC has declared Lego variant cover month. So a lot of the books will have Lego versions of their characters on the cover as variants. And hey, coincidentally, guess who happens to have a pre-order pack up online for the Lego variants? Stadium Comics.
Fantastic.
Store.stadiumcomics.com. Anyway, Ricky, next book.
On to the next book. There's a Vertigo title. Don't often talk about Vertigo. The Kitchen, #1. New York City, late 1970s. Times Square is a haven for sex and drugs. The city teeters on the verge of bankruptcy, while blackouts can strike at any moment. This is the world of the kitchen. The Irish gangs of Hell's Kitchen rule the neighborhood, bringing terror to the streets and doing the dirty work for the Italian mafia. Jimmy Brennan and his crew were the hardest bastards in the kitchen, but after they're all put in prison, their wives, Kath, Raven, and Angie, decide to keep running their rackets. And once they got a taste of the fast life and easy money, it won't be easy to stop. The Kitchen takes one of the most popular genres in entertainment, and like The Sopranos, reimagines it for a new generation to present a classic gangster story told from a fresh point of view.
Leave it there.
Oh, it sounds pretty cool.
Do you think Daredevil's going to make an appearance in this?
Not at all.
He's from Hell's Kitchen, you know?
Yes. Maybe like an approximate, the Vertigo version of Daredevil? Who knows?
I guess there's that whole like Marvel DC thing. They can't really...
I mean, you know. Maybe it'll be like Devil Dare, and he's like, woo.
Ricky, you may not know this, but when we went to New York Comic Con last year, 2013 New York Comic Con, we strolled through parts of Hell's Kitchen.
Whoa, really?
In order to get to the show.
Whoa.
Did it seem very imposing and ominous to you?
No.
No, that's because nowadays Hell's Kitchen is, it's become gentrified.
Is that the area with Times Square?
No. It's the area closer to the convention center, actually.
Okay. Yeah, it's a nice neighborhood. It's very nice.
Yeah, it's areas like that eventually become gentrified, and you have
and only the rich live.
Only the rich live there now.
So.
But this looks awesome. Art is by Ming Doyle, who you may remember from a title called Mara.
I do,
the volleyball title. Volleyball.
I have like 3 issues of #1. I have 3 versions of #1 for some reason.
Yeah.
I really was into that book, but
never finished it. So I'm interested to see what this is all about. Mob Wives meets 70s Hell's Kitchen. I think
should be good.
I think we're in for a ride there.
Yeah.
All right, up next from Image Comics we have ODY-C, issue #1. And ODY-C is spelled ODY-C. An epic 26 centuries in the making. In the aftermath of a galactic war 100 years long, Odysseia, the clever champion, and her compatriots begin their longest, strangest trip yet. The one home. A gender-bent, eye-popping, psychedelic science fiction odyssey begins here. By Matt Fraction and Christian Ward. This includes a special 8-page fold-out.
What? 8-page fold-out? So, like 4 this way and 4 that way?
Yeah, maybe.
Wow. What?
Yeah, that's going to drive the cost of this book up. It's a $3.99 book.
Oh, man.
Which, you don't normally see from Image on a #1 title. But it is 40 pages, probably has no ads inside, which is really cool. So sci-fi. Sci-fi is becoming big amongst, the non-superhero genre of comics again, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they saw Black Hole Hunters Code and they're just like...
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, we need in on this market.
I think, I don't know, reading this, it kind of sounds like a mashup of, like, Saga and Black Science and Low, all kind of rolled into one.
Yeah. Worlds
in peril, people at war.
Well, it's just the Odyssey just retold in space.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's all it is. Like Odysseia, like they're coming home, the Argonauts. Yeah. It's exactly that.
But they don't use the word the Argonauts, but that's what they're what they're implying.
Most likely that's what the ship is called.
You think it's called the Argonaut?
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, we've got some preview pages here. Let's see. Glorious Troya.
See, Troy?
Yeah. So, what is your opinion of... Because the art and story looks kind of cool. And, it says right on the title, the heaviest trip is the one back home. And it's a very trippy sci-fi cover. But what's your opinion of books like this that take source material that's already out there and kind of alter it to fit their needs?
Well, I mean, I guess we don't know how much it uses, but I don't know. I like it when things when people take already made things and kind of change them a little bit.
Yeah.
But sometimes it could feel a little lazy if it's like hasn't changed a lot.
Right.
But like Oh Brother Where Art Thou, right? Like that's the Odyssey.
Yeah.
In the South, and that's amazing. That memory's fantastic.
Right.
So it really depends on how you do it.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll see. Man fraction. All right. So probably the strangest book of the week, The Humans, #1. Apart they are nothing, deemed by society as outcasts, misfits, losers, no good punks. But together they are the Humans. The Humans is a high-octane, no-holds-barred ape biker gang chopper ride into 70s exploitation genre bliss. Follow Bobby, Johnny, and all the humans as they fight and fly down the road to oblivion on a ride filled with chains, sex, leather, denim, hair, blood, bananas, and chrome. What?
Exactly. This book looks freaking awesome. It's a 70s biker gang story, exploitation style, but it's featuring apes.
It's the strangest book ever.
It's the most amazing book ever.
Sounds really good.
The art looks incredible. Biker gangs are in right now, Ricky. You got Sons of Anarchy and everything like that. Everyone wants to be in a biker gang right now.
What about the Stadium Biker Gang? That's pretty
What would it
good
be called? What would the Stadium Biker Gang be called?
Maybe called like the Pages or something.
The Unboxers or something?
Unboxers. Yeah, that would be good. Maybe like Comic Boxer. That's a good one.
It's a good name for a company, but not a good name for
for a biker
for
gang.
A biker gang.
Yeah, a biker gang company, same thing.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, the art for this looks amazing. My understanding is that this was already a self-published book that Image inked a deal with to carry at San Diego Comic-Con.
That's awesome.
So, dreams do come true at Comic-Con, right?
Yeah, and that's crazy that it's that quick, right? I mean, San Diego Comic-Con was in July, and
but I guess if you already have material ready to go, and it's already been printed and put out, it's just a matter of, hey, Image, here's our files. I'm looking forward to this book. There's a ton of great comics coming out in the month of November, but this is one of the ones I'm looking forward to most. All right, next up is an offering from Boom Studios, and it is Deep State, issue #1. You know all those conspiracy theories you hear about, like how the Jonestown Massacre was a failed MK Ultra experiment by the government, or how Lee Harvey Oswald was trained and brainwashed to be an assassin? Well, what if some of those were true? Deep State is a dream, or is it a nightmare, come true for conspiracy theory nuts, including all of us at Boom. John Harrow doesn't exist, and his job is to make sure that other things don't exist too. At any given time, the government is running dozens of black book operations, experiments that aren't on any official record and are never acknowledged to exist. Some of these are innocuous. Some of them are monstrous beyond reason. And most of the time, they go as expected, and the public is never the wiser. Most of the time. John Harrow's job is to handle them when things go wrong and do anything to make sure the government's secrets stay just that. Secret.
Ooh. So there's like reverse X-Files?
Yeah, it's like admitting that all the conspiracies are true,
and then
but seeing how they're covered up. So this is written by Justin Jordan, who you may know from the Luther Strode books, or from the recently released Spread from Image Comics, which is really good. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to this book. I trust in Justin Jordan. I think he's a talented guy. Also has a really cool beard. At least he did last time I saw him at a show, which was about a year ago. Yeah, so Deep State #1. Definitely check it out. If you're going to check out any book with Deep in the title, you want it to be Deep State #1.
That's true.
Deep State #1. And if you want to check out, I'll go even further, Ricky. If you want to check out any book with Deep and then a second word with the letter S in the title,
Maybe Deep State.
It would be Deep State. There'd be no other books to look at.
You're right.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of secrets does Stadium have that you're hiding, huh?
Oh, Deep Stadium?
Yeah.
Deep Stadium?
What kind of secrets we got
Oh,
here?
man, there's so many secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you saw the dungeon we used to have at Shoppers World Mall.
That's true. It's pretty
We used to have a storage room. Before we had the Sidekick store, we had a storage room in the basement of our mall.
Yeah, there's like blood on the wall.
It was called the dungeon. And
like, where'd the blood come from?
Yeah. You know, Ricky, ritual sacrifice is a messy business, and you need to keep the when you need to keep the evil lords of comicdom at bay, you need to do whatever it takes.
What?
Yeah.
I get it. Next, we're going to talk about all new Captain America #1. This is it, the all-new Spy-Fi. High-flying adventures of Sam Wilson, Captain America, and Nomad begin here. Hydra is growing. The terrorist band have infiltrated the Marvel Universe completely, but what is their ultimate goal? United by Hydra, Cap's rogue gallery gathers to take down the new untested Captain America and Nomad. Stephen Colbert cover, variant cover.
Is Stephen Colbert as Falcon?
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Oh my god, that's amazing. And he's got an eagle flying behind him, of course. Of course. Also, we've got, let me just go over the list of variants for this, Ricky. First of all, it's written by Rick Remender, illustrated by Stuart Immonen, fellow Canadian. We've got a variant by Sarah Pichelli, a variant cover by Alex Ross, variant cover by Carlos Pacheco, variant cover by Scotty Young, variant cover by Chris Anka, Rocket Raccoon and Groot variant by To Be Announced, and blank variant also available. Now, that's a lot of variants.
Too many.
I wouldn't say it was too many, Ricky. Now, that's a lot of variants. And, you know, for people that want all of this historic book, where Sam Wilson is the new Captain America, where can they go to ensure that they get all of the variants that are a part of this book?
Well, they could come into our store, but that's not very convenient.
Not very convenient for people that live, like, you know, further than...
Yeah. So then where?
Well, they can go to stadiumcomics.com, Ricky, and order the all-new Captain America #1 collector's pack. If you want to get all your Cap action, all, you know, take care of it all in one shot.
Get your cap on.
Yeah. Now, they also mention here the Rocket and Groot variant cover. And the Rocket and Groot variant covers are the theme that Marvel's going with for the month of November. This book will have one of them, so will 16 other Marvel Comics titles. And where do you think you can go to get... This is getting really bad. I apologize, people. But I got to put the information out there. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you get the books that you need.
That's all right.
Store.stadiumcomics.com has got you covered. For a limited time, you can get in on that Rocket and Groot variants.
And are they done by the same artists for the
different
whole thing?
artists for each book? Yeah, be a wide selection of artists. So what do you think of Sam Wilson as the all-new Captain America?
I think it's pretty awesome. I mean, I haven't read Captain America, so I really don't know what's happening. Like, Captain is, like, old now.
Yeah, yeah. Super Soldier Serum is pretty much on its way.
How are you supposed to know that unless you keep up with everything that is Marvel? Like, I was reading She-Hulk, and he's just old out of nowhere, and I was like, what?
You want, like, little editor's note in She-Hulk?
Yeah, something.
Editor's note.
Yeah.
Steve Rogers is old now.
Yeah,
he'll be gone soon.
That'd be nice. Anyways, but this is cool. I mean, this is a Spy-Fi book, so that's pretty awesome. And Captain America flying, maybe that'll be more interesting.
Now, what do you think in terms of how long it'll be before Steve Rogers is back as Captain America? Or do you think this is more permanent?
I think something like this is permanent for the time being. Just like
what does that mean, permanent for the time being?
Well, okay.
That sounds like comic publisher talk, Ricky.
I honestly think that Marvel's going to either do a relaunch or different universe, something where all these characters come back and everything's back to normal.
Yeah, we've talked about this, and I think that there's a lot of stuff Marvel is doing right now that seems to be irreversible.
Yeah.
And it seems that it's going to be very hard for them to retcon things or go back and try to write themselves out of this corner that they're putting themselves into, with Cap and you know, Thor becoming unworthy and a female taking the role of Thor. Wolverine dying. Just everything that seems to be happening right now. All the secrets coming out from Original Sin, Axis. Like, where is it all going? Where is it all leading? And a lot of people, myself included, think that there's some sort of Marvel reboot coming around the corner.
Do you think Axis, like Onslaught / Red Skull, is gonna like restart the whole universe with his mind or something?
Maybe. It's hard to say. But I think there's some major reset coming.
Marvel now just started.
Well, somebody online compared it to when Spider-Man finally, like, you know, unveiled his mask and everyone, the world knew that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, and you know that was permanent now. And they were like, well, Peter Parker is Spider-Man in Marvel Comics, and that's just the way it is, and everybody knows. And then, you know, a few years later, they reversed it all. So
how'd they reverse it with that new
Mephisto? Yeah. But I'm excited for this book, and I'm excited for all of the stuff that Marvel's doing. Just because I'm curious as to where it's going to lead, and how, you know, the stories that are going to come about to
it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that will show where the characters go from here. A couple of honorable mentions to talk about in November, Ricky, because there was just way too much to get to. We've got the 3rd installment of the Multiversity books coming out, or is it the 4th installment? I've lost track already, but it's Multiversity Pax Americana. This one's got Morrison working with Frank Quitely on it, so if you're fans of that duo, you definitely want to pick that up. Wonder Woman issue number 36, new creative team of David and Meredith Finch. The cover to said book is on the front of previews. Looks great. Hope that the Finches are able to pull it off with Wonder Woman. And then we've got an interesting one, what they're calling the sequel to Django Unchained. Django / Zorro, issue number 1 of 6 from Dynamite.
Pretty ridiculous.
Quentin Tarantino somehow involved in the story creation of this, but not actually doing the comic script for it.
It was probably he was drunk at a bar. And he's like, you know, it'd be awesome if Django and Zorro.
And Dynamite looked over their contract with Quentin and saw that it did include a clause in there where they could come up with, you know, additional Django material.
Suck it.
Just like dumb. So yeah, lots of great stuff coming out in November. But something, Ricky, that we didn't get to talk about, and I thought we could end the show with this. Why don't you take it away?
It's called Monstrosity by Alterna Comics. From the dark void of outer space and the edges of time comes a monster anthology like no other. Alien-transmitted diseases, dimension-hopping serial killers, robot massacres, and more. They all roam in the pages of Monstrosity.
Ricky, tell everybody why this book is a must-have and why it's important.
And not only is there a story by me in there.
Okay.
But there's a story by tons of other great people, like Jay Bone and Ryan Ferrier and other...
Phil McClory.
Phil McClory.
Brian Evano.
Shane
Heron. Marvin Law.
Sam Ware.
Fantastic. A lot of people that have graced us with their presence at Stadium Comics in the past. Covered by James Stokey.
Best cover ever.
Yeah. So it looks like it's pretty cool. It's a graphic novel. Do you need to have read Volume 1 of Monstrosity to read Volume 2?
No, it's all like their own contained stories, all of them.
Right.
So yeah, you really don't need to. It's like, you're good.
Awesome.
Yeah, so go in your stores, pre-order it now.
Monstrosity was a project that was supported by Kickstarter as well.
That's right.
So definitely give it your support. It's in previous catalogs, so your local retailer is able to order it. So if you're interested in Monstrosity at all, I'm not going to tell you to go to store.stadiumcomics.com. I'm going to tell you to go into your local retailer and tell them to place the order. It should be awesome. All right, Ricky, that is it for this episode. I feel like we've gotten a lot off our chest today.
It was good.
Yeah, we've been pent up for a little while. We didn't get to do this last month.
Very nice to do this.
Stay tuned for next episode where we're going to talk about collectibles coming out in November 2014 and beyond. Take care, everyone.